Warning: this video will be biased and based solely on the individual's opinion. It is also uncensored and unfiltered, and will contain spoilers and info on the latest MLP episode. If you're not caught up with MLP, or wish to avoid spoilers, go get caught up before you watch this video. Guys, it's happened. We have character development for Celestia. I'm pretty excited to talk about this, so roll the intro.
My little pony, what is friendship all about? My little pony, friendship is magic.
Greetings, my brony and Pegasus friends. Welcome to Crimson Analysis. Today we will be analyzing Celestial Advice and All Bottled Up. This season, the show deviates from its regular path and gives us 2 standalone episodes instead of a 2-part premiere. The premiere opens with Starlight and Spike, and we're given a brief exposition of what happened last season to refresh our memories. This exposition also tells us that Starlight, Trixie, Discord, and Thorax are all getting medals for their role in saving Equestria. After some Pinkie Pie antics, we move on to the ceremony, where everyone is present. The CMC, Kane's in shining armor, the Changelings, pretty much everyone we've ever met is at the ceremony.
So, how's the whole ruling a kingdom thing going?
It's a bit overwhelming, but we're adjusting.
Yeah, I wish they had spent a little more time on that fact. I really want to know how his life has changed now that he's king of the Changelings.
I can't believe you managed to do it without magic.
It was amazing. No one's ever stood up to Chrysalis like that.
Those are quite the voices. Celestia comes in, drawing a parallel between her relationship with Twilight and Twilight's relationship with Starlight, showing how similar they are.
Feeling, isn't it? Watching your students shine the way you always knew they could.
Discord says what every brony is thinking. What now? What is going to happen to Starlight now that she's done this?
The Ponyville Chronicle wants to take our picture.
Ugh, you too, Discord.
And Discord still annoys Trixie. I love that little detail. How Twilight just pours the drink into the flowers. After Twilight's mild freakout, she does what all of us have been hoping she'd do for a while. She asks Celestia for help. Again, a parallel is drawn between the 2 relationships.
So you have an overachieving student. Sounds familiar.
Which means it's time for me to send Starlight Glimmer away.
A lot of us, including myself, expected something like this to happen. We didn't want it to happen because we all love Starlight and we don't want to see her go. After Discord being the Lord of Chaos, we're given a pleasing montage of different places that Twilight thinks about sending Starlight. Through a fantasy spell, we are able to see the fantasies that Twilight has about each place she thinks about sending Starlight. But of course, this being Twilight, the fantasy suddenly turns dark as she imagines the worst possible outcome. We watch Twilight as she gets more and more anxious about what to do with Starlight, moving pretty close into Lesson 0 territory. And then it happens. The thing we've been waiting for 6 seasons happens. We get Celestia character development. It starts off with her laughing hysterically, which we've never seen her do before. We learn from Celestia that she had the same fears Twilight is having when she was in her position. We're treated to a flashback sequence, where we see Celestia stressing and freaking out about what to do with Twilight. This is a side of Celestia we have never seen before. Most of the time we see Celestia as at a formal event, so she has to be the regal leader we know she is. Although Celestia is the princess, we have seen her break that at certain times, like a bird in the hoof.
Gotcha.
Mystery and the Friendship Express.
How's that for a lesson, Princess Celestia? Care for a bite?
Ponyville Confidential.
Celestia just like us?
Best night ever.
That was the best Grand Galloping Gala ever!
Princess Celestia!
Pardon me, Princess, but tonight was just awful.
Oh, Twilight, the Grand Galloping Gala is always awful.
It is?
That is why I was thrilled you were all attending. I was hoping you could liven things up a bit.
Make new friends but keep Discord.
You have nothing to apologize for. This has been the most fun gala in years.
I know. It was a what?
But there was ooze all over the place. And one of the guests threatened to send some pony to another dimension.
I know. Can you imagine how dull it would have been if I hadn't invited Discord? Come on! The night is still young.
I love seeing this side of Celestia. It's great to see her as just another pony and not the leader that we always see her as. She's shown to be playful, like we saw in A Bird in the Hoof, as well as her obvious obsession with cake. It was surprising and somewhat enjoyable to see Celestia laugh like this. This, for lack of a better word, made Celestia seem more pony-like. She has the same fears and anxieties as her subjects. Seeing that Celestia has these fears and concerns, like us, makes her more relatable. This was definitely the highlight of the episode. It gave us something that fans have been wanting for a very long time, but I still want a Celestia-centered episode. The writers decided to throw us a huge bone here, and I appreciate it, but I want more of this. Please, give us more of this. If Celestia hadn't interrupted, it would have been Lesson Zero all over again. And now we come to this really heartfelt moment. And we learn that no matter how much Twilight grows, she will always need Celestia. And in the same way, no matter how much Starlight grows, she will always need Twilight. I never understood what Discord is doing here. Is he trying to teach Twilight a lesson like he's done before? Or is he just trying to get under her skin and be the Lord of Chaos? So, in the end, Twilight decides to give Starlight her own choice on what to do with her destiny. And she decides to stay, to the delight of all of us. And then, Twilight gives Starlight a very sweet gift. A mirror surrounded by pictures of her friends. So every time she looks into it, she'll see herself surrounded by her friends. Oh, so that's how Pinkie cleans up after a party. Final thoughts? I loved this episode. This episode was basically answering all the questions we had after the season 6 finale. Like, what will happen to Starlight? How will the changelings fit into Equestria? And is Twilight gonna leave? I feel like this episode answered every question we had and tied it all up very nicely. I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10.
And all bottled up.
We open with Trixie trying to do magic. Real magic, not stage magic. So far, this season has been a Trixie lover's fantasy. Trixie's had a large part in the first episode, and now it looks like she's going to be the star in this episode as well. We are introduced to the problem pretty quickly, though we're not quite sure what that is.
Not exactly.
So as the credits roll, we learn that the girls are going on a friendship retreat. At this point, I'm hoping we will see the retreat in the next episode. The show has done this before. Starlight is trying to teach Trixie a teleportation spell. And being the pony she is, Trixie doesn't listen to the instructions and ends up teleporting away the cutie map table. So as Starlight is freaking out about the table, Trixie is just lounging around with not a care in the world. This is where Starlight's frustration boils over. Not wanting to hurt Trixie with her magic, or lose her as a friend, Starlight decides to bottle her off her anger. Yeah, this isn't going to end very well. So, with that spell in place, they go out in search of the table. Oh, so we'll get to see the girls' retreat. Hey, Bulk Biceps. Always good to see ya. And we have another great voice by Tabitha St. Germain.
No. Why in Equestria would something like that be in here?
As they travel, Starlight gets more and more frustrated and has to bottle up more and more anger. Starlight, are you feeling alright? You look kind of... Yeah, what she said. That's when it happens. The bottle breaks and the anger escapes. Okay, that's more than a little freaky. Now, I didn't catch this on the first viewing, but now watching it again, I realize that the three ponies are angry at Trixie for the same way Starlight is, because it's Starlight's anger that infected them.
And you do know it! Have to bring up my dark past!
And Bulk Biceps mentions never listening when she tries to teach her.
You don't pay attention when I'm trying to teach you!
I feel so bad for Trixie right here. She's scared and she doesn't understand why they're mad at her. And finally, the truth comes out. And Starlight admits that she is mad at Trixie.
I don't understand why you're all so mad at me! They're not. I am.
That cures the three ponies of their madness, or whatever you want to call it. And there is the moral of the story. Never bottle up your anger, because it's going to explode sooner or later. It might not infect the people around you like it did here, and can have very detrimental effects. Okay, we haven't seen that since Season 6 premiere. Or was it the finale? Actually, she might have done it in both. Wait, Bulk Biceps, don't you work at the spa?
I'm late for my other job!
Okay, I guess you do. Now that Trixie understands how Starlight has been feeling, she now remembers where the map is. And we find ourselves at the Ponyville Spa, because Trixie was thinking about how lucky she was to have Starlight as a friend, and she thought about the first time they met. Final thoughts? I liked this episode. It was enjoyable. It's always fun to see the dynamic between Trixie and Starlight. And all the Trixie lovers are ecstatic to see her star in another episode. Final rating for this episode? 7.6 out of 10. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first episode, but it's definitely a fun episode. Well, that's all for this episode of Crimson Analysis. I'm Crimson Shield. Thanks for watching.